Eric, you also, we get a lot of fans of Last Train Home.
That's nice to hear.
Keeping that band together? And
yeah, in fact, we're going out on the road a little bit next week. We're playing up at the Ram's Head in Annapolis on Friday, and then up in Arlington, Virginia at Iota, and then up in Pennsylvania. I keep it going, certainly not as much as I used to. It's just, I guess it's kind of hard to keep a 6, 7, 8-piece band on the road, and Peter, it's just a lot easier with one guy that I have to carry around and support.
Prop up on sticks. Yeah.
So how did the two of you get together?
Well,
Blood bank.
Blood bank. No, well, I had been living up in Washington, D.C., and Peter was the journalist at the Nashville Daily, the Tennessean, and I kept sending him records by Last Train Home, like, hey, I write for the Washington Post about music, and I also play music. Maybe you'd say something nice about us. And to my great astonishment, he did. He wrote some nice things about Last Train Home. And we started playing down in Nashville. We would drive up and down 81 a whole lot, and I met him, and we started hanging out, and we got along real well. I didn't even know that he was a songwriter and a guitarist, and then one day we're just hanging around his house, and I found out he'd been living up in Northern Virginia during high school, and that we both used to go see the Seldom Seen all the time. So he had some guitars lying around, and we started singing along to some Seldom Seen songs, and we just harmonized real well, and it just felt really natural to start putting together some gigs.
So if people want to see your tour schedule, they can go to the Red Beet website? Or?
I think it's as complicated as redbeatrecords.com/tour, but if you go to Red Beet Records, it's right up there. And man, we would love to come back to Charlottesville. That's the truth. Last Train Home used to play at the Star Hill quite a bit before they got rid of the live music and the Gravity Lounge, but we want to come back and play here.
Absolutely. So listen, would you guys like to play another song?
Sure. Let's see. You want to do Denali?
Sure.
Let's and do we do that in E or D, Eric?
In B.
In B.
Peter wrote it, but keys, they're just a whole other, you know.
Yeah. So we I started touring a lot more when my pal Todd Snyder started asking me to go out on tour with him and opening shows. He's a great guy and a great songwriter, and it's fun to write songs with and fun to be around. And he kept telling me that I ought to go to Alaska with him. And I was like, I'm not sure that Alaska is really the place for me. And he said, trust me, you'll be thanking me before the plane hits the ground. And he was right. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous place. And but I had learned, I wasn't real good in school, but I did okay with some of the geography stuff, and had learned that there was this big Mount McKinley there. That was the big old mountain. And but it turns out when I got there and looked out the plane window and said, hey, that must be Mount McKinley, then they were quick to tell me that it was really Denali, and the McKinley was a name that had kind of been foisted upon the place. So this song about that.
Always better to listen to the locals.
Is that right?
1, 2, 3. Flying down to Homer, I could hardly wait. It was my first time leaving the lower 48. We took a big plane to Anchorage, a little plane to get to the gig. As we were bumping through the air up in the rickety jet, I saw a big old mountain. I said, man, I bet that must be Mount McKinley. See, I knew that Mount McKinley was big. But the lady sitting next to me said, oh no, son, you're gonna make somebody mad if you say something that dumb. It's Denali, not McKinley. Ask the mountain if you don't believe me. She said McKinley was a way to kiss a president's ass. That might have changed what you and your friends have called it in class. But McKinley's dead and gone, Denali is, and always will be. She said Denali, not McKinley. Oh, Denali, not McKinley. Denali, not McKinley. She said Denali, not McKinley is the great one, the high one. McKinley, not Denali is the great white lie. Man, Denali, not McKinley. Hey, hey, hey.
on the upper one. She said, darling, I'm a boy, darling, I'm a kid, darling, I'm a McKinley. She said, darling, I'm a McKinley is the great one, the high one. McKinley, not Denali is the great white line. And Denali, not McKinley. That's what I say.
Have you been to Alaska?
I have not been to Alaska, only in my dreams.
You gotta go.
Okay, we'll get there now. You know, you can say things about McKinley here in Charlottesville, but be very careful about Mr. Jefferson.
Yeah, he was kind of like a big deal around here.
He is a
I'm
big
sorry,
deal.
who is
That-
it?
That's all we'll say about it.
Yeah,
So this is
Sampson too, right?
right, we've got
You
Peter Cooper.
don't want to talk about Ralph Sampson here in the negative. John Crotty, is that okay to talk?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, those are all local heroes. We've got Peter Cooper and Eric Grace and a little insider knowledge about Charlottesville here on WTJU, Charlottesville. Jumping on the Bed show, and Eric and Peter will be playing tonight at the Mockingbird in Stanton at 8:30. I get all choked up just thinking about it.
It's very emotional.
And usually we say run, don't walk down to the show, but tonight we want you to drive with your air conditioning on and get down to the Mockingbird to see them. And you guys have covered a number of people's songs over the years.
It's true.
I noticed on one of your CDs you covered Kevin Gordon's "Down to the Well."
Oh yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, we both live in the East Nashville neighborhood of Nashville, and Red Beet Records. My wife and I put out a series of compilation albums from East Nashville called "Music from the Other Side." We've got 3 albums out, and Kevin Gordon is on all of them. Kevin Gordon and Todd Snyder and folks like that are just some of the great songwriters that are there, and that's just one of the great Kevin Gordon songs. And when we were putting together the list of songs that we wanted to do for our first record together, we made a rule. They were either had to be written by us or they had to be written by people who were friends of ours. And Kevin, we're lucky he's on that list. So.
Yeah, I love that song, and so much of what Kevin does is great. If people aren't aware, Kevin Gordon is just he's kind of the poet laureate, I guess, certainly of East Nashville, and maybe wider than that. He's got a song on his new album. The new album is called Gloryland. He's got a song called Colfax that is absolutely one of the most stunning pieces of work you will ever hear. And the fact that you can get it for like 99 cents on, digital distributed, it's like, wait a second, I want to pay more for this song.
It's a powerful piece.
It's so
of
great.
work.
I really, so many singer-songwriters, we often get caught up in our own heads a lot, and I think it's kind of important that we sing each other's songs, though, as well. I was talking to David Olney about that, as another guy that we've recorded his songs. It's a nice way to keep yourself aware of what other people are singing and doing, but it's also good to sing each other's songs. It's great to sing Woody Guthrie songs as well, but sometimes we ignore the greatness that's going on right around us. And
it's funny because other people forget that too. It's okay to cover, say, a Woody Guthrie song, but one time I was trying to get a concert lined up in the state of Ohio somewhere, and that's as specific I'll get. And I'd sent our music, and I got an email back saying, we like to hire singer-songwriters, original artists. You guys cover other people's material. And I thought, if Emmylou Harris had sent him a record in 1975 that was all, Townes Van Zandt and David Olney and Graham Parsons songs, would they have turned her down? I mean,
we do. We write. I mean, the majority of the songs are from our pen. But Emmylou is a real example of somebody whose records are all the richer for her being aware of what other people were writing, and it's a shame that we sometimes get out of that mindset.
So if somebody wants to cover Eric Grace or Peter Cooper, that's okay too, right?
Oh yes, please. It was funny. I have to say very quickly. A couple of years ago, Last Train Home played at the Bristol Rhythm and Roots reunion, and we had played, Last Train Home had played a set, and then Green Sky Bluegrass, is that the name, from Ohio? They came on next, and I got a text from our drummer, said, hey, they're playing My Sally, which is a song that I wrote, and it's on the album True North. And I came running back to the stage, and sure enough, they were playing my song, and I couldn't believe it. And it sounds kind of bluegrassy, and at the end of their set, I said, thank you for playing my song. They were like, what song? I said, My Sally. They said, you didn't write that. That's an old traditional song. I said, no, really, I wrote it. I swear I did.
Old traditional Eric.
Yeah, that's right. I think they just put old traditional down so they didn't have to pay me my mechanical royalties.
So. Yes.
But it's such an honor.
So you guys mentioned you covered a Townes Van Zandt song. Could you play it for us? Or is
No,
that
it's a song
reaching?
about Townes Van
Well, we
Zandt.
did both. We have played Townes Van Zandt songs, but Peter did write one that we can certainly.
Well, Rebecca, DJ Rebecca, who has a show called Walk Right In here on WTJU, has been known to play Eric Grace and Peter Cooper on many occasions, and it's one of the world's greatest living Townes Van Zandt bands.
Oh, man.
And she's here with us in the studio today.
So let's try it.
Yeah,
let's
sure,
try
go ahead.
it. We haven't done this in a while. This is off my Mission Door album.
Also
And,
on Red Beet Records.
That's right. Yeah, you're my label boss. Throw it in.
I'm the boss of it.
This is, I appear in this song. This was real. Townes Van Zandt was a genius level songwriter and didn't always keep it together on stage. Yeah, I met him. I never knew him. I like that song about won't you lend your lungs to me. I heard him sing it one night when he was too messed up to remember most of the words. After the show, if you could call it a show, I watched a man walk up to him and say, let me tell you, I love what you do. The singer said, that's good, you're one of the few. Now take care, take care. A couple weeks later in a record store, I saw one of his sitting in the used bin. I picked it up and I took it to the counter, thinking about the man singing, won't you lend your lungs to me. I drove on home, opened it up, inside the jacket written in a shaky hand, a little prayer offered for a stranger. Tell you what it said, for Jerry, take care, take care. On the trail of a cautionary tale, a stumbling scarecrow way beyond the pale. Man, he blew it all off for the sake of a song. The song lives on, the singer didn't last long. I got two lungs, I must attest, I'm gonna hold them pretty close to the vest. Ain't no way to sing unless you inhale and exhale. The only thing you failed to do is take care. Take care, take care, take care, take care.
That's great. And Peter Cooper here.
Some new chords I invented just for that performance of that song. Wow.
I think you were just trying to throw me.
I think we got heat stroke this morning playing at Wolf Trap outside.
Yeah, we did a show for kids out there after the storm and in the heat stroke, so it was we got all caught up in the weather.
Well, it's very nice of you guys to play requests. That's not easy to do. And tonight at the Mockingbird at 8:30 in Stanton, Eric Grace and Peter Cooper will be playing, and they might be willing to take some requests down there. And I know you guys have to do a sound check. So
Yeah, we'll hit the highway and head on over the hill.
So is there one more song?